Today, we're going to be going over one of the best ways I know how to get started in real estate, house hacking. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris from Boselli Brothers Real Estate, and today we're going to be going over the house hacking strategy. House hacking, by definition, is just generating extra income from your primary residence. Now, there are plenty of ways to do this. I said house hacking strategy, but there is 5, 6, 7 plus different ways that you can do this on your house today. Are you in the home market nowadays and being very discouraged by the huge run-up in prices we've seen over the past couple of years, or the doom and gloom from all the interest rate news you've seen recently? Me too. I am actually looking for my primary residence right now, and even though I own several rental properties, I still have not been able to find an affordable place to live in the Boston area. So I am actually looking at implementing these strategies myself. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, housing accounts for 34% of the average American expenses. If you go out to buy a single family home with yourself or yourself and a spouse, you guys are stuck paying all of that mortgage, taxes, insurance, upkeep, everything 100% on your own. Now, thankfully, there are several different creative methods you can use today to reduce or even eliminate that living cost completely. Sound too good to be true? It's not, and I'm going to show you how. Now, there are two primary advantages to house hacking. First, you get to reduce that huge expense you have by bringing in other people to split it with or using other creative methods to generate income from your primary residence. And second, you still get to keep 100% of the tax benefits associated with owning real estate, like depreciation and mortgage interest payments, 100% to yourself as the property owner. Even just saving an additional $500 per month is an extra $6,000 per year that you can save up and use towards your next investment or whatever you want. If you're choosing to use one of the strategies where you rent out an additional space, over time, that rent is going to go up while your mortgage cost stays the same, increasing that cash flow you're able to bring in from your property. So, now that you know why it's a great idea, I'm going to show you some specific strategies you can use today to start generating some additional income from your home. First, you could buy a multifamily property. I'm talking about residential multifamily, that's 2 to 4 unit properties where you live in one unit and rent out the others. This is a great strategy because once you eventually decide to move out of that property, you can replace yourself with another renter and now you have a full cash flowing rental property. Second, even if you have a single family property, is you can rent out any extra rooms or space that you have. You can do this for long or short-term tenants, just really anything to reduce that housing expense. Now, there are some other considerations that you have to make here, like how to use the common areas, who's going to fill up normal supplies, how electricity bills are split. We're going to go into all that in a more in-depth video that we're going to do in our house hacking series on every single one of these strategies. Next, you can look at using Airbnb, VRBO, or any other short-term rental apps. You can use the extra bedrooms you have and look at nightly rentals on one of these short-term rental apps, or you could even plan it around your vacation schedule and put your house up for use while you're away. If you live in a seasonal area where people are coming and going depending on what time of year it is, you could also look at renting your house out during those times while you go off to live somewhere else. Another thing you could try is converting extra space like your basement or your garage into livable separate apartment units. Things you need to consider for these separate living spaces is you will need a separate entrance, you will typically need a separate kitchen or kitchenette area, and separate plumbing and electricity. Another strategy is look at adding an ADU or accessory dwelling unit to your property. This could also be something like a converted garage, or you could look at building a separate rental unit in your backyard or somewhere on your land that you could also rent out for additional income. You're going to want to make sure you check with local regulations and make sure your property is zoned correctly to do this. Be sure to double check with your town officials and city hall, but if everything checks out on paper, this could be a great way to add a separate rental unit to your property. Next, one of my favorite ones is called the live-in flip. This could appeal a lot more to certain people that do not want to have strangers living on your property or in your home with you. And it also has some crazy tax advantages that you're going to want to stay tuned to find out. Now, the live-in flip is essentially a live-in BRRRR on your primary residence. What you're going to want to do is look for a fixer-upper property, get bids from a contractor to fix it up to the standard that you want it to be at, run your numbers and ensure that your purchase plus rehab cost is going to be substantially lower than what you think it could be worth after the fact. And then make sure you have proper financing lined up to pull this project off. A huge advantage of the live-in flip strategy is that you get to take advantage of all of the loans associated with primary residences, your 3.5% to 5% down loan, FHA 203K that will allow you to roll rehab costs into the loan, and generally just better terms and longer term financing than rental properties. If you're a contractor or someone that's good with their hands in general, this is a great way to be able to use those skills to generate sweat equity in this property. Also, because this is your primary residence, the IRS allows you to take a large portion of this tax-free. You have to meet certain qualifications in order to take advantage of this tax exemption, so make sure you check out our more in-depth video on the live-in flip later down in this series. And finally, the other category. These are just other random little tips and tricks you can use to start generating that extra income on your property. If you have a multifamily home, you can set up separate lockable self-storage in the basement for people to pay an extra 25 to 30 bucks a month. People have a lot of crap, and if you give them a space to fill, they will fill it with stuff. You could also install coin-op laundry or rent out parking spaces if you live in a more densely populated area where it is all street parking or general parking spaces are hard to come by. I used to live in Hoboken, New Jersey for a few years, and I would pay $350 per month for a garage spot so I didn't have to run outside every couple hours and move my car to avoid being towed. Throw these up on Spot Hero, or there's plenty of other apps where people can look for spots like this, and you'll be making extra money in no time. All in all, there are so many things that you can do today with your primary residence, whether it's a single family home, multifamily home, or you have other spaces you can utilize. And again, we are going to go in depth into every one of these strategies in our house hacking series. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification button so you're up to date whenever we release a new video. Head to our website, subscribe to our newsletter so you can stay informed about all current events and all things real estate. As always, our content is 100% free, guys, so help us reach as many people as possible to help them learn about real estate investing and avoid the same mistakes we've made along the way. I'm Chris, Boselli Brothers Real Estate. See you next time. So you can be informed, I hate using that word.